Welcome to another edition of Flea Market Fantasy, the world's second greatest Bronze Age era comic book podcast. Joining me as always is new Mike L, Kevin Jank.
I'm here, Mike Dell, and this is a very special episode because it's not since Dino Riders have we run into a comic book that had been scanned improperly.
Yeah, I was so confused.
Yeah.
We'll get into that in a minute. But yeah, why don't you tell the kids what we're reading this week, Jank?
Today we're going to be reading Green Lantern number 196 from 1985-86. I think it's technically the January 86 issue, which means it was probably late 1985.
Now, the reason you picked this is because you wanted to talk about Guy Gardner, and he is on the cover. But I
That's
will
right.
say, for a Guy Gardner issue, not a lot of Guy Gardner.
Yeah. Yeah, they kind of split it up between the three Green Lanterns, one of whom's not even a Green Lantern at this point, apparently. So,
the whole bait and switch.
yeah,
Yeah.
they button hooked me. I mean, he was at least in it. He did have some
Yes,
moments. So,
he was in it. So, all right, before we get into this, let's remind everybody if you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. I think we're up to 370 subscribers, so he picked up a couple more.
hey, I think
And
one. I think we were at like 369 last week. I was like,
I
hey,
think
69.
we were 368.
Oh,
So, yeah, you made the joke about getting to 369,
we blew
and
right past
yeah,
it.
right past it.
Emphasis on the blue.
So, 130 away from janking, making me read Dark Knight Returns.
Oh, come on. Just make some more accounts, people. That's all we need.
Yes, the only way it'll ever happen. Um,
Or the bots when we need them.
but we appreciate the support. And I also have a book out there called Monkey Flip about a chimp detective.
It's a
All
good one.
right. So, Guy Gardner. Yeah, we've talked about the Green Lantern many times. Hey, when your cousin Pete was on, we did a Green Lantern issue. I remember that.
That's
And
right. I would have
uh,
tried to get him for this, but we're going on a trip tomorrow, so
that's right. They're very busy,
he's
these
going to be
Janks.
busy. Yeah.
But Guy Gardner's first appearance was Green Lantern 59 in 1968. I was
His
surprised
wait,
by that.
Green Lantern 59? That was his first appearance. Oh, Guy Gardner. Okay. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
Green Lantern's first appearance was in
yeah.
Green Lantern 59? What'd they do for the first 58?
It's a very slow build.
Yeah.
Oh, no, no, Guy Gardner. Yeah, his first.
Yeah.
So,
That makes more sense.
he was created by John Broome and Gil Kane. He was born in Baltimore, and his dad was an abusive alcoholic,
His
filthy
character is starting to
drunk.
make a lot more sense now.
He had an older brother who became a cop. But Guy, he was a juvenile delinquent.
Yeah. But I think,
And
didn't he become a PE teacher at some point?
yeah, so I think
Must have
a
turned it around a little bit.
teacher, yes, and because his brother, I think his brother's name was Mace or maybe Jimmy, I can't remember. But his brother, he wanted to set him straight, being a cop, and he sees his brother going foul of the law there, so he took him aside one day and just beat the hell out of him. And he said, "Hey, get your act together, there, chum." And
Demons out. Yeah.
he did give him money though to like go to school or something. I don't know. So Guy Gardner took the advice and he said, "All right, yeah, I don't want to get beat up again by my brother, so
Yeah.
I'm going to
Either
go
I take
straight."
Taekwondo or I straighten myself out.
Now here's the sad part though, is even though Guy Gardner was on the straight and narrow now, turns out his brother was a dirty cop.
Oh,
Yeah.
old switcheroo.
And
I
he
mean, I
got
guess clearly he's not, an upstanding cop because he's beating the shit out of people.
hey, tough love.
Yeah.
Spare the rod, spoil the child. So, but this filthy cop that he was involved in some sort of incident where he got shot and he was like, yeah, paralyzed, I think.
Uh-oh.
And so, what did he end up doing? He drowned himself. He committed suicide. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's like that scene in Monkey Shines. Remember he was trying to suffocate himself in that garment bag,
Oh,
but
yeah.
he
That
was
was
like
like a good.
paraplegic, so he had to
That was
like
like a good Monkey Shine reference.
uh,
What was that monkey's name?
Ella.
Yeah, that's right. Yep, Ella.
Uh,
So we won't talk about how Ella's story ends. Uh, but so when that
Watching.
So Guy Gardner, though, he was like you said, I think he became a teacher or something, so he was kind of living a good life now. But when the alien Abin Sur needed to find a new Green Lantern, the only two worthy candidates were Hal Gordon and Guy Gardner. What?
Yeah,
Hal
that's
Jordan, not Hal Gordon. Yeah,
spacious to me. Like
yeah, it makes no
this
sense.
this thing is clearly not grading on worthiness. Apparently, it just goes based off of who has like the most
Ring size.
willpower or like the least amount of fear. And I guess because his brother was probably already dead, so he couldn't be afraid of his brother beating him up. He was like, I got nothing to fear anymore.
If the ring fits. I think Matt Murdock would have been the perfect choice then. You
Yeah,
know,
that's right. If
but
he existed in this universe.
yeah, I just find it hard to believe that Guy Gardner and Hal Jordan were the two best candidates.
Yeah, I don't know how you
Um,
look at those two and you're like, huh, these guys are equal. One should get this job.
so because Abin Sur's ship crashed closer to Jordan, he got the ring. Like I don't know,
Yep.
that's
It only had limited, gas left in the tank, so.
I think it would have been like I don't want to tell him how to do the job. I think it would have been way better if you want to set this story up to say that Guy Gardner was supposed to be the Green Lantern,
Hmm.
and but the ship crashed and Jordan was the guy there, so Jordan got it, you know. But
Not just a simple geographical convenience.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
just so because then you really have something. But if it was between either of them, then yeah, who cares? He picked the wrong guy, but
That'd
whatever.
be great if the ring was like trying to fly off to Guy Gardner and like Hal Jordan just kind of yoinked it out of the air, like, oink.
So Guy was anointed as Hal Jordan's backup, and so if anything, if it was like in the Miss America pageant, and if
Yeah, if
Hal
Hal
Jordan,
Jordan gets found out to be doing porn and he gets his title taken away.
yep, Guy Gardner takes over the duties. But
Yep.
get a load of this though, Jake. Guy Gardner got hit by a bus. I don't know.
This guy
I
has
know. This poor son of a. So, so then when Guy Gardner got hit by that bus, and he also was going out with a lady named Kari Limbo.
Oh, that sounds like a good name. He sounds very flexible.
I mean, maybe I jumped the gun on that. I guess she was dating him. I don't know if she was dating him at the time he got hit by a bus. But anyway, so we'll get into her in a second. But when he got hit by this bus, the guard, what are they? The Guardians of the Universe? What are they in here?
Yeah, like
It's
sure.
not
Not
Galaxy,
the
right?
Guardians of the
Because
Galaxy,
that's
yeah. Sadly. Yeah, it's like, yeah, I think there's the Guardians. They probably have a
yeah,
longer name on the business card, but
they're the guys who give out these rings. And they said, all right, we need another backup, in case Hal Jordan gets caught doing porn. So hey, we're gonna go with John Stewart to be the
yeah.
backup. And I think we all know John Stewart. He was
He's
hosted the
hosting the Daily Show again.
that's right. And he teamed up with Seth Rollins one time in WWE, if you remember
That's
that.
right.
But
I heard him talk about that on Bill Simmons recently.
but this John Stewart, he's the black fella, and he was in all the cartoons. I remember a lot for a
Yeah,
lot.
the
Like,
DC
yeah,
AU or whatever they call it, the animated universe. Yeah.
he seems like a nice enough fella. But Guy, he finally got his chance to be Green Lantern when Hal's ring needed repaired.
Huh.
So I guess John Stewart was filling in, and then once Guy Gardner was back to full health, he went back to being the backup. And so then when Hal Jordan got his ring messed up, he had to take it into the shop. And Guy Gardner said, "All right, I got you." So he's
So
the
that
Green
means they
Lantern.
must have loaner rings just sitting around, which why do they not have Green Lanterns on? Like, why are they not giving those
Well,
out to people?
I
Make
don't know
some
if
more.
yeah, yeah, because how it is
If
weird.
his ring's getting fixed, they can't be using Hal's ring.
Yeah, I don't know. So, but when he was the Green Lantern, though,
Yeah. Did not go
Hal
well.
hey, yeah, I hope you know more because I did research, but wasn't a very good one. So, but Hal's power battery exploded in Guy's face. It's, and it seemingly
So he
killed
got
him.
caught doing porn, apparently. Things exploding in his face.
So his body just like, vanished. So like, oh my God, he just blew up. So Guy Gardner, fare thee well, buddy. We thought you never
You
barely
had a
knew
good
you.
3 hours on the
Yeah.
job.
You got beat up by your brother. You got hit by a bus. Now the battery explodes in your face. So, but he was dating that Carrie Limbo girl who was she had limited precognitive abilities.
Oh,
You think she could have warned
apparently
him
not
about the
enough. Yeah.
exploding battery, but I
Maybe
guess
they're like
not.
1 second ahead of time. Like it's really not very useful.
But this Hal Jordan fella, he swooped right in there, and he was consoling her after Guy Gardner, and then Hal Jordan and Carrie Limbo became an item, and they started dating.
Wow. That
Yeah,
Hal Jordan, he is just the worst when it comes to the world of dating.
I gotta tell you,
Uh,
that guy does seem like a scumbag.
yeah.
Because there's some more stuff later we'll talk about, but
Uh,
not even touching on the whole 13-year-old girl thing or anything. But
yeah, John Stewart's got an alien girlfriend in this issue. I'm hoping she was
yeah,
actually
she's
of
of
age.
age.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good.
But Guy didn't actually die. He was banished to the Phantom Zone.
That's right.
Sounds like one of those movies we watched on the LCS hockey show, The
It
Phantom.
does. Yeah, that's
But
definitely Sybil Danning would be in.
but this Hal Jordan, he was going to marry Carrie Limbo.
Oh,
They were engaged, and but then he found out that Guy Gardner was alive. And when he told Carrie Limbo this, she's like, "Oh well, I was only with you because I thought Guy was dead." You know, this kind of
yeah.
changes things. So, but Hal Jordan, being a nice fella, he went to rescue Guy Gardner from the Phantom Zone, and I think he went there with Superman. I think or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to the Phantom Zone, you got to involve Superman. I feel like he's like the warden.
And General Zod was one of the bad because I guess Guy Gardner was brainwashed.
Yeah, yeah.
So
He
he was
came out of there all brain, all oatmeal north of the eyebrows, as you like to say.
could have also been the whole getting hit by a bus. That probably
Ah.
didn't help either.
And
But,
then the guy you're filling in for stealing your girlfriend.
so Hal Jordan and Superman were able to defeat the brainwashed Guy Gardner and General Zod. Or no, they when they're first tripping in the Phantom Zone, that's when they found out that Guy Gardner was alive. All right,
Oh, okay.
so they barely escaped that time. And then when he told Carrie Limbo, she's like, "Oh, well, I still love God." And he's like, "All right, well, I'll try and go get him." So
I was gonna leave him there, but yeah, no, I
yeah,
guess you guilted me into it.
so he went back in there to get him, and but now Guy Gardner is like captured by Sinestro,
Oh,
his arch enemy, the
yeah. Green Lantern's
disgraced
actually
Green
in there.
Lantern.
Yep. Future
And
Yellow Lantern.
yeah, so he defeated Sinestro and he rescued Guy Gardner, but Guy was alive, but he was in a coma now.
He's in a lot of comas, this guy. No wonder his brain is all
He's had a rough
screwed
go
up.
of it, this Guy Gardner.
Yeah.
And he remained in a coma for several years.
Hmm. Seems
Wow.
like till shortly before this issue there, he was in that coma. And
I forgot to look up what happened to Carrie Limbo.
yeah, she didn't stick with either one of them, apparently.
Probably not. Probably a good decision on her part. Yeah.
Maybe she hooked up with Chip.
We can only hope. So, all right, let's talk. There's some other characters in this book. Well, I guess, do you know more about Guy Gardner?
Uh, Not too much. He's kind of been an entertaining character over the years. I remember that I read that Doomsday Clock, which is like the sequel to Watchmen, where they kind of crossed over into the DC universe. And I remember him being very amusing there. I was like, this guy Gardner's great.
Yeah,
Just
so
talking shit.
the reason he comes out of his coma is because of the whole Crisis on Infinite Earths thing, right? Like he wakes up just around that same time,
Yeah, and the
and
one like there's some different factions of the Guardians at this point, and one faction wants him to gather up a bunch of like the worst of the worst, most dangerous criminals in the universe to try to take on the Anti-Monitor. So he's working for that guy.
yeah, that's where this issue picks up. But
Yeah.
but he's the
No,
Green Lantern at this point because Hal Jordan gave up his ring.
yeah.
Do you know why he gave up the ring?
I don't actually. I was curious if you came across that in your
Uh,
research,
it
but
it was because he loved that Carol Ferris.
Oh yeah, the Star Sapphire.
Yeah, she became Star Sapphire. So like the Guardians are cracking down. I'm like, hey, you can't be falling in love with these lady, some lady. You're the Green Lantern. You got to pay attention to your business. And he says,
We
hey, I
looked the
want
other way on that 13-year-old thing, but
to.
this is too far.
He's like, I want to have a personal life. And he's like, no, 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 you're a Green Lantern. So he said, all right, well, I quit. And he
Wow.
quit being the Green Lantern for the love of a lady. And then that lady turned out to be all crazy and Star Sapphire.
Yep.
So we'll get into that some more later. So I mentioned John
And
Stewart.
I think Guy Gardner we should mention. He was on the Justice League International, and he was just a big jerk for the most part. We had you guys read that issue where
Yeah.
Batman one shot at him, but then I think he got like some more brain damage, and it made him nice again. Like
Oh,
it fixed his brain, at
well, that's,
least for a while. But
I
then I
was going
think
to say,
it kind of wore off. And I believe towards the 90s, things got weirder where they revealed he was part alien or something,
oh,
or
come
he
on.
had some alien DNA in him. And that kind of like once they figured that out and cracked his genetic code, it made him somewhat nicer guy. And he became some other hero. I forget what it was called, like Bloodlust or something like that, but something very
That
90s and
sounds
edgy.
very nice. Yeah. Bloodlust. But yeah, again, I don't want to tell these people how to do their business, but that just makes him a way worse character. The only thing he
Yeah,
had going for him is
just
that
makes
he
him like
has
the
some
other
edge.
Green Lanterns.
Yeah. You want him to be
Yeah.
kind of a jerk, you know? That makes him cool.
Yep.
So this John Stewart, real quick, his first appearance was Green Lantern 87. So Guy Gardner was what, 59, did we say? So that bus came along pretty quick for Guy Gardner. He's 28 issues before that bus got him. And John Stewart was created by Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams. So, as you mentioned, John Stewart is dating a alien Green Lantern lady in this issue, and her name is Katma Tui,
Oh,
very similar to Hawk Tui.
that's right.
He's all the rage, I
Better watch
presume.
out, John
Yeah.
Stewart. You're gonna get your title taken away.
And she was born on Korrigar, the same home planet as Sinestro. And
Uh-oh. Yeah,
Sinet
I can see that. They got the pink skin.
Yeah, the pinkish reddish skin. And Sinestro used his Green Lantern powers to enslave the planet, apparently. And so Katma helped lead a rebellion. And I guess Hal Jordan helped, take it down or whatever. So then the Guardians imprisoned Sinestro and named Katma his replacement Green Lantern for Sector 1417. So yeah, she took over for
Sector.
Sinestro. How about that? And
Wow.
Hal Jordan persuaded Katma to give up her one true love to remain a Green Lantern because she was in love with some local fella, like a scientist or something on that planet. And he said, "Yeah, but you can't, have a personal life and be a Green Lantern. You got to be a Green Lantern." And then a couple years later, he gives up
Just
being a
the
Green
same thing.
Lantern
Yeah. She must
to
have been
his
like, what a
girlfriend.
jerk.
That's exactly right. She was not amused. She's like, "What the hell, Hal Jordan?"
Yeah. But apparently it's okay for you to date other Green Lanterns. That's fine.
Yeah. So she did meet John Stewart because she was assigned to train John Stewart when he became a new Green Lantern, and they fell
Oh,
in love, and they eventually got married.
really?
Yeah. So
Oh,
I'm
that's
sure
cool.
their story ended happily, right?
No, I'm guessing not.
Yeah. Star Sapphire
I guess the
killed
best
her
thing you could. Oh.
in Action Comics 601 in 1988. Yeah, Katma Tui was just at home in the kitchen cooking up some dinner, I guess, for her and John. And that Star Sapphire showed up and started torturing her and cutting her up just to piss off Hal Jordan and killed her.
Wow. Yeah, I feel like the whole women in refrigerators thing is mostly
Yeah.
related to
Green
Green
Lantern.
Lantern because that was also Kyle Rayner's girlfriend was the actual one who got cut up and put in a refrigerator. So
Oh,
it
man.
seems like though their girlfriends are the ones that are really getting the brunt of the
So
damage.
poor Kat Matui. And then she came back a couple times. They resurrected her, but for the Blackest Night or whatever, she was one of those lanterns that popped up. But then, she died again and whatever. So
Dang.
I don't know.
Did she come
Something's.
back in the new 52 and they get another chance or they're just
I
like,
have no
nah.
idea. That's a good question because DC always reboots things every few years. So yeah, I'm sure there's probably some more Kat Matui stories up there right now in the DC universe. But all right, so we got a villain in this issue as well, and what a piece of work this guy is.
This guy was great.
How does
Yeah.
he ever lose a fight, this guy?
I don't understand his powers at all. He
Like
apparently
every
has mental powers, but he can
yeah,
also change the colors of things.
he can just
I
manipulate
don't know.
matter, I guess, with his brain.
Yeah.
Uh, but he just goes by the name the Shark. He's the
Yeah.
Shark. His real name is Karshon, Karshon. His first appearance was Green Lantern 24, 1963, created by John Broome and Gil Kane.
Hmm.
And some scientists were doing some atomic research on some island or whatever, and something went screwy, and there was an explosion, and so like the nearby water was bombarded with atomic radiation, and there happened to be a tiger shark swimming around through those waters, and guess what? That tiger shark got hit with all the radiation, and it went through like
He got Ninja
thousands.
Turtle basically. Like
Yeah, pretty much.
he was just a normal shark, and then he got turned into a man shark.
Yeah, so he went and evolved, like went through millions of years of evolution in like a couple of minutes, and he walked off on land and he became a shark guy. And in his
I like that
original,
even though he's not a man, he's just a shark. He does have like pink, fleshy looking skin,
yeah, because
like a shark.
in his original appearance, he was more guy than shark. He he was like a normal fellow in a business suit and everything, like going to work. But he had like a sharkish looking face, like his nose was a little pointy, and
Okay.
so he was more man than shark. Um, and then in
Which
that
is
first,
weird because he's not a man at all. There's
yeah,
no man in there.
yeah, and but he evolved from to yeah. Anyway, so this Hal Jordan fought him the first time, and he like some did something to him to revert him back to a shark, and he put him back into an aquarium or something, the zoo. But then he, whatever, he broke out or evolved again. I don't know. But
Yeah.
his newer version is more. He's got like a giant shark head. He looks exactly like a shark's head,
It's
and
pretty great.
but he's got a man's body, like arms and legs and stuff. But
Yep.
yeah, and he swims underwater. And yeah, his powers, he's got incredible mental powers. He can read minds, project fear,
Hmm.
manipulate matter, and shoot energy blasts.
Holy hell. And apparently grow in size like
Yeah,
Giant Man and
like whatever you need, this guy can do it.
yep.
He's,
No wonder they wanted him to take on the Amazon. Like this guy's insane.
he's amazing.
The whole package.
So, yeah, I was trying to research. Like, apparently, there's also a DC villain called King Shark, but I guess
That's
that's a
right.
different guy.
Yeah,
That's
he was in the James Gunn Suicide Squad movie, played by Sylvester Stallone, actually.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
So, all right, so those are
pretty
all the.
cool. I like him too, but yeah,
Yeah, this
Marvel
guy.
needs to step up their shark villains because they don't really have anything to compete with either of these two guys.
Yeah, probably not, huh? Trying to think who they would have.
Uh, is that one? What's that one Namor villain? He's kind of like
Don't
orange.
don't they have a guy named Tiger Shark?
I think yeah, that's yeah, I think that is his name.
Yeah,
Yeah, but he's not very shark-like. He's just
yeah,
like a man with
I
like
think it's a dude in a shark costume or
yeah,
something. But
exactly.
all right, so those are all the key players here. The creators are Steve Englehart. Talked about him countless times on the show. 145 writing credits at DC, including Green Lanterns issue 188 to 223. And that includes the Green Lantern Corps, which started in issue 201. Remember, they renamed things.
Yeah,
So,
coming soon after this.
yep. And Joe Staton is the artist. He had 505 penciling credits at DC,
Yeah,
including a ton of Green Lantern between 117 and 222. Like he didn't do all of them, but he was the main guy through that entire run.
sometimes, but
Yeah.
yeah, we've definitely talked about him
Yeah.
before.
Um, in fact, we did a Mike L and I did a Secret Origins issue early on in the show, and Joe Staton drew a Green Lantern story for that.
Did he draw the pie face story?
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. It was the Pie
Yep.
Face story. He called his sidekick Pie Face or something. I don't know. But
Oh, Green Lantern.
so this Hal Jordan's a jerk. All right. So why don't you describe the cover for us, Jack?
It's a really cool cover, which is part of the reason I picked this. I really like this cover a lot. It's got just a little DC circle over there, and the issue number on the other side, on the right side there, and then it's just a big red cover, At the top it says he is the new, and then it's got the Green Lantern logo. So Green Lantern logo is pretty cool. It's got the like the lamp in the middle, and then the green on one side, lantern on the other, and they kind of look about the same, even though they're different amounts of letters. They made it look pretty symmetrical, so that's cool. Um, and then yeah, the cover's just mostly red, and then you got a big old shot of Guy Gardner. And he's got his costume, he's got that stupid looking haircut, he's got he's holding up the ring on the one hand, he's got the like a fist cocked, and he just says, "And don't you forget it." And it's very like shaded. It's shaded very heavily, and it looks pretty cool.
Do you know who the artist is? Can you recognize it at all?
Uh, Cluck.
It's it's my boy Howard Chaykin from American Flag.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is before he got terrible.
How dare you? But yeah, you should mention you mentioned his costume because he doesn't have the same costume as Hal Jordan.
Yeah, that's
Um,
true. It seems like the Green Lantern costumes always do vary a little bit. Everybody kind of puts their own stamp on it. And his is very collared, and it kind of like he's wearing a vest essentially with a big flared out collar.
yeah, like a double-breasted vest, and it almost looks like he's got like a turtleneck underneath or something, like a green
Yeah,
turtleneck.
yeah, definitely does.
And he doesn't have a mask at all,
Yeah, he
and
wants everyone to see that moneymaker.
and his haircut is just hair on the top and like shaved us on the sides and around. I used to have a similar haircut for much of my life.
Really?
Yeah, I would just shave my head. Yeah, like half of it. Yeah. So, um,
Nice.
how about that? Me and Guy Gardner, similar
Yeah, a
haircut.
lot in common.
So, all right. Yeah, it's a nice cover. It's a striking cover. The red background is pretty cool. So,
Memorable. Like if you see that, you're like, oh, I want to check this out.
all right. So let's open it up now, and we see a splash page of
Yeah.
Guy Gardner flying toward Earth, and I guess the title of
This
this issue is
thing,
three.
yeah,
Three.
that's right. Comes up a lot.
Sometimes not
uh,
in the proper order.
yep.
Like,
They do this thing every time they introduce one of the new Green Lanterns. Well, the main three at least. They describe like what they think of when they think of
yes,
green. I guess it's like dark emerald green, like rich Tiffany bottles. Green, like the back of a fly.
like a dead
This is
fly,
how.
like
Yeah,
a dead fly.
dead
Yeah,
fly. Yeah,
but
I
but
never
it's
would have noticed that, but okay.
but it's the voice. This is how this is good writing here because
Yep.
a character's voice are the words and the images they use to express their point. So these words and this imagery is being used for Guy Gardner and it tells you who he is. And so each Green Lantern that gets introduced, they have a different take on that. Like what's Hal Jordan's like all noble and heroic kind of greens, I think, right? Or-
It's all like junior high school girls and
Wait, how Jordan's is bright forest green like a glen on a hot summer day, green like a banner flown proudly in the breeze.
I
So,
feel like banners could be any color. I don't
yeah.
know what doesn't really make a lot of sense.
And John Stewart, cool soft green like key lime pie on the back porch at dusk, like the first grass bursting forth in the spring. So,
Yeah.
you know, he's
They
a
like plants, but Guy Gardner, he likes dead flies.
yeah, so right away you know this guy Gardner's kind of a weirdo.
Yep.
And
He's no
uh,
good.
uh, and then there's a each one also has a little poem on a scroll.
Yeah.
Uh,
That was
but
less interesting.
yeah, probably putting on a hat there. We don't need this.
Yeah.
Get this out of there.
You nailed it the first time. Let's not do this.
But so what's the
Yeah,
guy
Guy Gardner,
Gardner?
he's back on Earth and he's like, "Oh boy, I'm gonna go, save the universe here, but first I'm going to Baltimore. I'm gonna
Yeah,
go like wreck my old house."
yes, he just flies down where he used to live and destroys the building with his power ring. Just shoots
Yeah.
it.
He's like, "I hate this place," and he takes it down. And
What if someone's living there, guy
he's
Gardner?
like, "Yeah, somebody must have moved in."
Yeah.
He's like, "Now I've got a universe to save, but I'll know that I'm not saving this cesspool in the process. And you can bet your butt I will save it. This is my last chance, not just to live like you creeps, but to keep the green power." Beautiful deep green power like the ocean miles from land. Take me into it, Ring. Take me down to free the shark from his watery grave.
Yeah, so he goes underwater to fight our shark fellow. But yeah,
Yeah,
there are other people witnessing this, like other people on the
to call
street.
them creeps and
Yeah,
wreck their houses.
they're like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "Yeah." So yeah, right
This
away,
was the guy that could have got the green
yeah,
ring,
that's why none of it makes any
same as Hal
sense.
Jordan.
None of it makes a lick of sense. But so he goes underwater there and he's swimming, and then we cut over to Hal Jordan, and he he doesn't have a ring, but he's flying. He's being transported back
Yeah, I guess they have like a teleporter that's also green, maybe. Like
because that he went up to the Guardians to like
maybe
to take him back or volunteer his services, and they said, "Nah,
turning in your shield and badge, I guess.
yeah, we don't want you, buddy. You quit on us. We
Was
don't want
love
you."
with a crazy woman.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, he's thinking to himself, I threw my pride away and offered myself for any job, anything at all I could do to help save the universe in its hour of crisis.
I'll replace the urinal cakes if you want.
Like, nope, you're not qualified, Hal Jordan. And they turned him down.
Yep.
So, not even at the end of the world could I get to wear the ring again.
Yeah. Clearly he regrets his decision already.
Yeah. Because it seems like, yeah, I don't know what the situation is with Carol Ferris at this moment, but it doesn't seem like she's there. Like they're not living together. So I'm guessing she already went crazy and
Yeah.
took off. So, but this is before he meets the 13-year-old, right? He's like,
Yeah.
so his life's really
He
going to pick up.
rebounded.
All right,
Uh,
so now we cut over John Stewart, but like you mentioned at the top of the show, the scan we read is out of order.
yeah. There's
So
just one page that's not in the right spot and it kind of throws everything off a little bit.
really disrupted things.
Yeah.
Like, hey, what happened?
There's like some weird Tarantino thing going on here, but no, it's just page
Yeah,
was scanned wrong.
but so we see John Stewart, he's flying toward Earth as well, and when he's zipping around, he's trying to find his girl, Katma Tui, because he was out fighting the Anti-Monitor at Crisis on in Infinite Earths.
He's like, job well done. We kicked that anti-monitor's ass. The crisis is over.
Yeah, and so he's back on Earth now to celebrate, and Katma Tui, she was watching over Earth while he was gone.
Yep.
So who was watching over Sector 1417?
That's a good question. Left it completely. It's probably not even there anymore, honestly.
But yeah, he gets right down. He finds and he just they start making out right away. And but she sends her emerald spirit self to go check on Sector 1417, I guess.
I did not know about.
Yeah. So while they're making out, her spirit goes to do the job, I guess. And now we
Well,
cut
it goes
over.
to, I think she's trying to get to Oa to check in with the Guardians, make sure
Yeah,
she
O
can
is the
go.
home planet of the Guardians, right?
Yeah, but there's like a field around it, and it won't let her in. Her little emerald self can't get in.
Yeah. So now we cut over to Guy Gardner. He's underwater, and we get a flashback to when Hal Jordan fought this shark guy, Karshon. And because Karshon's a big trick when he fights these Green Lanterns is he just makes everything around him yellow.
Ah. Turns out pretty good strategy when you're fighting.
Yeah, this shark's no dummy. So, but when he was fighting Hal Jordan kind of blew him up. Like he was on a boat of explosives or something. And so Karshon's dead.
I
But
do like that he gave himself a person name too. Like I can't just be Shark. My name is
Karshon.
Karshon now.
But Guy Gardner with his ring, he does some sort of wacky stuff with time, and like he goes
Yeah,
to the site of Karshon's death and reverses time. I don't know, this is all nonsense. But he
yeah,
brings Karshon back to life.
yeah. There he is.
So Karshon's
He's
probably really grateful for this, right?
oh sure. Everyone takes a shine to Guy Gardner right away, but instead he tries to eat him. He's just like I
Yes.
hunger and I must feed. So come here, you juicy morsels.
So he goes flying at Guy Gardner and he hits him with his ring. And but then he's like, oh, you one of them Green Lantern fellas, huh? So he just makes the water around them yellow.
Yeah.
So he
He
just
just
peed in the
pees in the
water.
pool. Yeah.
So with all the surrounding water yellow, Guy Gardner can't use his ring.
Yeah.
Pretty
It's like I can't even
ingenious.
really breathe anymore.
Yeah. So it looks like he's going to get beaten up here by this Karshon fellow, but he punches Karshon in the nose with a stiff jab, and then he puts him into like a rear naked choke, and he slams the ring up against his head. So he's like to get any yellow away, out of the way, and
Yep.
like he's just going to shoot him in the head.
But Karshon's no dummy. He's just like, I'm
Yeah,
gonna make myself yellow.
yeah. I'll
You're
just
like, that's
turn
smart
myself.
guy.
So so then guy Gardner's like, a blast! I got to get out of here. So he just swims away, and he goes flying out of the ocean because he's like, I'll lure him up to land, then I should be able to fight him. But then what happens, Jack?
Well, Shark turns himself into a giant, like kaiju sized shark man.
Yeah, I
And
don't know what that reference means. Kaiju. I
like
don't know.
Godzilla, all those
Oh, okay.
monsters, they're kaijus.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's like huge. And
Yeah. So he's still in the ocean, just kind of the top half of him is sticking out now because he's so big.
then he just grabs Guy Gardner and he
Yeah.
just makes yellow around Guy Gardner. He like turns the air yellow.
Traps him in like a yellow bubble, yeah, of air.
And he's like, I beat you already, Guy Gardner, you dummy. And he's like, but wait a minute. You're not the Green Lantern I want to kill. And
Yeah.
I want to kill that Hal Jordan fellow who blew me up on the boat. So he just tosses him aside, just chucks him into the water.
Yep. Guy Gardner, always second choice.
He's gonna go look for Hal Jordan. All right, so now we cut back to John Stewart's apartment, and he's got Katma Tui in bed, but she's like passed out. She's so exhausted from
Yep.
that. Because yeah, when she sent her spirit self up there, she couldn't get through that barrier or whatever on Oa. And what's the significance here? They're trying to figure out what's going on there with the Guardians, or
Yeah, well, Hal Jordan mentions at one point, like, oh, it's actually like, oh, it's too far for anyone to actually physically travel there. It would take you forever. So if you don't do the astral thing, then there is no way in. So they basically barred everybody out.
oh, okay. Yes, it's kind of like me. I just
Something's
don't
up
answer
there.
the door. Right? I
Yeah,
don't want
exactly.
anyone coming in here. So, while Cat Matu is taking a nap, John Stewart there's a knock at the door, and it's Hal Jordan. Now, this is
Yep,
weird because he did not
very
know
weird.
Hal Jordan was Green Lantern.
They've worked together many times.
Yes,
Apparently never put together behind that little domino mask. But that
I
was
know. This is even worse than Clark Kent's Superman.
yeah. And apparently John Stewart or Hal, yeah, John Stewart knows that Hal Jordan knows who he is because he's not, concerned that he's like, you have to call me Green Lantern when I'm dressed like this. So he
What a
knows,
jerk, too. He's like,
yeah,
oh, you can't call me John. I'm Green Lantern now. All
yeah.
right.
So they know each other in their personal lives, but still,
Yeah, because he answered the door in his Green Lantern outfit.
yep.
So he's not exactly trying to hide it. Like it could have been his mailman. He doesn't know it's how to.
Yep. But
Yeah,
Hal
I
Jordan's
was.
finally coming clean. Like, oh, yeah, you didn't know it was me, did you? Wow. Never could have put this together.
They must not have entrance exams to be Green Lanterns. Must be pretty easy.
Yeah. Jesus.
So they're chatting it up, and what are they talking about here?
Hal
Just
Jordan's basically doing like a Rocky too. Remember where Rocky like couldn't fight, so but he like wanted to just be around it, so he was like hauling spit buckets like that. That's basically what Hal Jordan's doing here. He's just like, I got to be around it. Like, if you need any help, like advice, I can help.
I can polish a ring. I
Yeah,
can I can do all kind of
I'll plug
things.
your battery in. I don't know.
I can I can scout out 13-year-old alien girls for you. I can do whatever you need. So he's like, all right. But it seems like Jon Stewart's not too excited to have Hal Jordan around, really. He's like, I don't
He's like two's good, but three is a crowd.
know. So, but Jon Stewart says, hey, wait a minute, let me try and go up to Oa myself, you know? So
Yeah.
he sits down in a chair and he sends his astral self up there, and yeah, he hits the old barrier too. He can't get in. And so when he pops back into his body, he finds that Karshon is now in his apartment trying to
Yep.
kill Hal Jordan.
Shouldn't have let Hal Jordan in. Just let this guy sit.
And so John Stewart grabs Hal Jordan and jumps out the window of the apartment, and he puts him in a bubble of emerald energy and shoots him out into space.
Yeah, that seems incredibly dangerous.
He's like, I
I
gotta
feel like
take.
if his concentration falters for a second, like, or Karshon knocks him out, like, isn't Hal Jordan's just gonna die in space?
Yes. Maybe just put him in a green bubble off in the corner.
Yeah.
Just, I guess hurling him into space. So then I like this. What John Stewart though, he's no dummy. He's sure he can't recognize Hal Jordan, but he knows a lot about dolphins and sharks.
Yeah, he watches Shark Week every year.
And he knows that sharks are terrified of dolphins. So he makes a green dolphin and has it jump at Karshon. And Karshon is terrified of this cartoonish green dolphin.
Yep. Great
Uh,
Neptune.
and the thing hits him, but Karshon's still in his yellow form, so it doesn't do anything to him.
No, just fear, I guess. Yeah.
But that's Karshon's gimmick. One of his things is he can tell what you're afraid of, you know?
That's what
And
he's trying to do to John Stewart here. He's like, now let us see what you fear. And it looks like, oh, John Stewart's eyes get wide, like, oh, this is gonna be trouble. Then he just shakes it off and like, no, I'm not afraid a lot, Mr.
yeah.
Mohawk.
Not unlike his turn with Seth Rollins, because he acted like he was scared of Seth Rollins. He had a steel chair and to protect himself. But then it was actually all he was teaming with that. He gave the chair to Seth Rollins, who then hit John Cena, or did he hit John Cena? I can't remember. But yeah, so this John Stewart, he's not scared either. And
Nope.
so he does the next best thing. He makes a Green Lantern fan, oscillating
Yep.
fan. It just has it blow away the yellow air around Karshon. This is so
But this
dumb.
guy can just do anything he wants. So he can just keep making all the air yellow, I feel like.
So I'm gonna make a fan. And then he traps him in a green energy ball, right?
Yep.
And Karshon's like, I'll just make the air yellow in here. And but Jon Stewart just keeps expanding the bubble to like, I don't know what happens.
Yeah, he says, then I'll turn that back to my advantage. You cannot blow the air around me now. You can't blow it away now. And so I'll turn it yellow. There is no air in here, only what was there when I surrounded you, and you've used that up. You may live in water and in air, but either way, you have to breathe. Otherwise, your all-powerful mind goes to sleep.
Actually, it ceases to exist, so I guess he's dead now because he can't
I
breathe.
would think he'll
Lack
just
of
go into a
oxygen,
coma. Yeah.
lack of oxygen in the brain is the thing that kills everybody. So I think he's dead. So. But yeah, it
Oh
just looks like
well.
he's taking a nap inside this bubble, and right then is when Guy Gardner shows up, and
Yeah, he's conscious again, and he is not happy.
he says, "Hey, I need that shark guy," you know,
Yeah, he's mine. Give me that
and
bubble.
John Stewart's like, "No, I don't think I'm going to give you the shark guy," you know, um, and
Yep.
Guy Gardner says, I don't know, he says, "That's not surprising with you working for the Wimp Guardians. My plan was assigned me by the last true Guardian, which makes me
Yeah.
the last true Green Lantern."
John Stewart says, "You are nuts.
Yeah, and it's up to you to stop me, friend. Power ring against power ring.
You're on."
There it is. So next issue is just two.
Yeah, a little countdown to, I
Uh,
guess, the end of the crisis. This is what they're going for there.
so there it is, Green Lantern 196. Guy Gardner, John Stewart, Katma Tui, and Hal Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
And Karshon the Shark.
Karshon the Shark might be my new favorite villain. Pretty great.
He's so
He's
powerful.
incredibly, yeah, overpowered, and he's got a cool shark face. So what more do you want
But I
out of a
guess you just
villain?
put a bubble around them and knocks them out, though. So I guess maybe he
Well,
isn't that
still, I mean,
powerful.
we said, like you said, it would kill most people. So if it only knocks him out,
But
that's
I don't
pretty good.
understand, like, why didn't he just make himself yellow again and like touch the bubble?
Yeah, I
You
don't
know what I
know.
mean? So I don't know. Whatever. He's a shark. He's doing the best he can.
Yeah, I
How
know. What do you expect from him?
how'd you feel about the rating here from
For the most part, I thought it was really good. I did like that introducing the different Green Lanterns and their perspectives. Thought that was good. You kind of got to see the difference between them. You got a little peek into each of their lives. I thought Guy Gardner was sufficiently a jerk. I mean, his first act on Earth was just blow up a building. Like,
yeah.
what a creep. That's pretty epic to just be like, yep, this is my first act, even though we're in the middle of a crisis that could result in the death of the entire multiverse. Like, yeah, I'm gonna go take it out on this shitty dump I live in.
But yeah, because I'm thinking like, one of the issues I had with this was I just kept thinking, why did this guy get a ring?
Yeah,
But I guess if you look at it through this time period, the Guardians apparently were in a rift, and maybe one of those Guardians was a jerk, and he's like, I want to give the ring to a jerk, so I want to give
that
it to this
definitely
guy
seems to be the
Gardner.
case here. I don't know what was
Yeah.
the original plan of how this
Yeah.
guy was worthy, but it seems like maybe they don't go based off of necessarily who's the best person so much as like who has the least fear.
I think
Um,
in strongest will or something, but I think it's really just ring size. That's
So
all.
if you're a jerk and you're very willful, like I guess
Yeah.
that you can very easily get this power,
Karshon's
knocking
great.
people down and taking what you want. Like they're like, oh, yep, we like that.
Yeah, Karshon's an all-time villain here.
He's pretty great.
Just so stupid. He's awesome.
He's got a giant
And
fin on his back and one on his head. That's great. They really went all out on the shark
I like
stuff
this
here.
Katma Tui lady. I like
Yeah,
her. Um, how the
even though
whole how
she took a nap for most of the issue, which I know you relate
I
to.
love naps.
Yep.
Yeah, take one before every show. So
Their spirit selves that I really did not know about that was how they
yeah,
got to owe him for
that
the
was
most part.
weird.
Yeah.
The whole John Stewart not recognizing Hal Jordan was awful, but
That was, yeah, I guess he probably inherited that, but I don't know. Clearly, no
uh,
other writer before this took the time to settle that, but
how'd you feel about
that's.
Joe Staten on the art?
I thought it was pretty solid. I'm not gonna say it's the greatest thing I've ever seen, but each of the Green Lanterns looks, different, so that's good. Um,
Couple of cool like the panel of Karshon coming out of the water as a giant. That was cool. Big
I
splash
mean,
page
most of
of
the
that.
shots of Karshon's face are pretty cool.
You just love Karshon. Anything
I
Karshon
do.
is. This,
Um,
yeah,
yeah, did a good
it
job of
was,
conveying the action.
fun enough. So,
Draws a
anything.
flating fan. More could you
uh,
want?
so, how does this? Because, like you said, in a few issues, that the title gets not relaunched, but rebranded as
Hmm.
the Green Lantern Corps. I was listening to a Green Lantern audiobook or audio
Oh,
drama when I took my nap tonight, just to get in the spirit. And
nice.
and for some reason, it was like the Sinestro Wars or something. I don't know,
Oh, yeah, I've heard that's
but
good.
but the guy reading it kept pronouncing core as Corb with a B. Like there's not even a B
What?
involved. What are you
Definitely
doing?
can't be that one.
I can understand Corb, but Corb. What? Um, so yeah,
Corbinite?
it's a weird word. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, so yeah, the title gets rebranded there because we get all these different Green Lanterns, and but how Jordan gets his ring back because do you know do you know how? I think I read this.
I don't. It looks like it happens in 199 or 198, so it's pretty
So
soon after this.
they go. He tags along to the mission to go fight the anti-monitors. Uh, like they go to the some anti-monitor outpost planet, like with Guy Gardner and then
Oh, sure.
Karshon and all the bad guys. And but when they get there, um, I think he realizes something, or I don't know. He does something, and so he kind of wins back approval, I guess, from the Guardians. I don't know, but during the mission, another Green Lantern dies.
This
So
bird-looking guy with a fin on his head. Yeah, looks like he
oh,
dies.
For that. So that guy bestows his ring to Jon Stewart. And then Jon Stewart's like, well, I got two rings. So all right, Hal Jordan, you can have a ring. And he gives him back his other ring. So now that's how he got his ring back, I guess.
Huh. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Um,
That seems weird. He should have had two rings. That'd been pretty cool. Double barreled, you know?
yeah, hell yeah. When any chance, that'd be amazing.
Yeah. But so
Huh.
then apparently maybe that's when he meets a 13-year-old.
I'm very
And
confused about how Hal Jordan is even in this battle when it's like clearly on like a moon or something, and he
yeah.
is not wearing a ring or any kind of spacesuit.
He has very good lungs. Just is Karshon just wrecking shop up there?
I don't see him. He must
He
be
probably
off
died in that
panel.
bubble. Yeah.
Yeah.
So all right. So but then Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, then he becomes Parallax at some point, right?
Yeah, that's in the 90s. Yeah, after it was like during I think the whole Superman versus Doomsday thing, Coast City, Hal Jordan's home city is kind of the like somehow gets destroyed and Hal does not take it well. He starts like trying to reanimate it up using the Green Lantern powers and stuff like that and the Green Lanterns try to step in and he's just like screw you guys and he starts murdering them and taking their rings to become more powerful.
Yeah, I think I heard it mentioned in that audio thing tonight that he killed like 30 Green Lanterns or something.
Yeah, sure
Um,
did. But then they
so
were, they kind of retconned it a little bit later on, where it's like this parallax entity, like this yellow energy got inside
yeah,
of him and made him do it.
yeah,
It wasn't his fault.
yeah. Because I can't remember the exact details of this, but yeah, someone said that's more than Hal Jordan killed, and then someone right away said, "Yeah, that was Parallax. It wasn't Hal Jordan. It was Parallax." Okay, buddy. Okay, but all right. So anyway, that's your Green Lantern issue 196. I'd give it a solid seven. I'd say.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I could almost be talked into an eight, but yeah, maybe seven's about where it is. It's not, upper echelon, but it was a fun time. I
Yeah,
really enjoyed it.
Karshon's a superstar.
Yeah. Oh, he should definitely be getting a best villain
I
nominee.
was going to say it's early in the year, but I think he has a nominee locked up for
Yep,
best villain.
I
So
hope so.
otherwise, what a year it's going to be for villains if he doesn't make the cut. You know,
It'll be like the Eternity Century.
that was a great year.
Yeah.
So all right, next week on the show. Wow, did I go through it trying to find an issue this week? All kinds of different things, and then last night, Jank, I watched a movie.
Oh.
And so next
I
week
have no
here,
idea where this is going.
I think you do. If you think so. So next week you're on the show from 1985, Eternals #1.
Oh no. I thought you guys
That's
did that one. Did
no,
you do
Mike M
number
and
one?
I did Eternals #1 from the Jack Kirby run in whenever the 70s. This is
Oh.
a 12 issue limited series that ran from 85 to 86.
Oh
So,
boy.
because I know you love the Eternals.
They're my favorite.
And uh, so, yeah, we're going to talk some Eternals because I watched
Have
that
to.
movie. I watched the movie last night.
Yeah.
Didn't hate
Oh my God. Your
it.
your taste palette has been dulled to, I don't know, some kind of weird
So,
new low.
it's not glorious or anything. Like, well, you haven't seen it. You don't know, right? You never watched it.
No, I never
Yeah.
will.
See, I'll break it down this week on the LCS show with our pal Tuffy.
I'll tune in
Uh,
to listen to it when I
yeah,
get.
but I didn't hate it. No, a lot of that may have been Angelina Jolie as a blonde. Maybe that did it. But
Yep.
this Eternals, I was flipping through it, and Icarus in this issue is working as a professional wrestler, which is great.
Oh boy.
Because remember
If
we
he
did that
doesn't fight that Del Toro guy, the Toro Rojo, then I
Toro
don't know
Row,
what's
yeah.
going on.
Because we did the Thor issue, and Vampiro in Eternal was working as a luchador in
Yeah.
Mexican wrestling. So these Eternals love pro wrestling.
Apparently do.
So they are pretty cool. That makes me like them. So yeah, we're gonna
Wow.
read the New Eternals. Well, new, 1985, 30 years old with the New Eternals. And so that'll be here next week here on the show.
Oh
And
boy.
again, if you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. We appreciate the support. And until next week, don't get any jank on you.